Very good
Great.
afternoon to you, ma'am.
Great. So
Good
let's.
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, how is your weekend going? What are your plans?
We are just waiting for you.
Right. Let's just wait a minute or two for others to join and then we'll begin the session.
Okay.
All right. So, let's start the session. I'll start by introducing myself. So, this is my first session here actually, and my name is Pranjali. And I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. I'm a TESOL certified spoken English instructor with over 5 years of experience teaching students and working professionals alike. And my expertise includes IELTS preparation, for people who are thinking of taking the examination, and spoken English, business English, and interview preparation as well. And currently, I work at Flipkart in the content development team, where I continue to enhance my skill and knowledge in a dynamic professional environment. So I thought the same for you guys that we should do the first session of our professional communication. Because I'm a working professional myself, I understand the challenges and nuances of effective communication in the workplace. So in today's session, we will focus on several key areas, basically three. So the first one is understanding the importance of effective communication in a professional setting. Why is it important and why we need to enhance our professional communication to communicate in a better way. And second one is learning essential business English phrases and vocabulary to enhance our interaction with our colleagues. And then exploring practical strategies for improving communication within your workplace. So this is something that we are going to be discussing in our session today. So I want a couple of you to introduce yourself as well, whether you can simply start with your name and tell me whether you are a student or a working professional. What are you studying in case you're a student? Where are you working? And where are you from? And if you want, you can also share some of your hobbies. Who would like to go first?
Okay. May I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. My name is Imrina. I'm from West Bengal. I'm an architect. I'm working
Oh,
in professional.
mm-hmm,
And my hobbies is I'm learning English. I'm
mm-hmm.
actually improving my speaking. So I'm here.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
You're an architect. That's such a creative
Yes, ma'am.
work.
Yeah.
Very good. It requires a lot of creativity and thinking, right?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
Absolutely.
How long have you been working?
5 years.
Oh, for 5 years. That's quite
Yeah.
impressive. Anybody else?
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this wonderful chance to introduce myself. This is Aquatic, and I'm currently a student and pursuing my master's in the sociology. And as far as my hobbies are concerned, so I literally love reading books and as well as interacting with people because whenever I interact with the people, I get to know different perspective how they think of the particular thing. So it is one of my best hobby. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
That's amazing. Yeah, you're right. Actually, when we talk with different people, we get to know their perspective because everybody's life journey is so different from ours. And it actually amazes us when we interact with somebody else and get to know their perspective on the same thing that we think about. And when it's exactly the opposite or very different, we get to learn something new at that time. Very good.
Yeah,
Anybody
indeed,
else?
ma'am.
Right. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am, I want to give it a try.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Khaled, and currently I'm
Mm-hmm.
pursuing the Bachelor of Education degree. I can say I'm a student now, and I want to improve my communication skill. That's why I'm here in your session, professional communication. Whenever I have to interact with someone, that time what are the key factors, key areas where I need to focus? I want to learn from you. And if I have to talk about my hobbies, then I like to play badminton, I like to play chess, and I like to sing and dance as well. These are some of my hobby, and at the same time, I like to read books. So I think I have a lot of hobbies. And one
Yeah.
more, I like to paint. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. You sound like a very creative person. You have a lot of hobbies.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity.
Where are you from?
I'm from Assam.
Oh, it's such a beautiful place. I've always wanted to travel to Northeast.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime
That's
you can visit. Always
that's
welcome.
thank you so much. That's really amazing. You're doing B.Ed, so you aspire to become a teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, very good. That's really nice. So we have a wonderful set of people here, and I see that most of you like reading. That's such a nice quality. So to become better at speaking, we usually need to read, and if you already like it, it becomes very easy. Anybody else?
Yes, I
Yeah.
want to.
Hmm. Please.
Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon.
I am Indie Boy, this side. I come from a
Okay.
diverse academic background with a strong
Mm-hmm.
inclination towards public administration, and I
Okay.
based in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, which is popular as the Temple City of India. Beyond
Hmm.
academics, I have a avid reader. I am an avid reader. Both fiction and non-fiction literature can be found in my weekend bucket. My
Oh,
creative
that's nice.
pursuits also lie in creating, making mod idols, and continuously seeking new hobbies, and also chess. I also find some weekend space for my sports needs, which sets around football, kabaddi, and volleyball also.
Okay. You play kabaddi, that's nice. And you said you like reading both fiction and non-fictional. That's
Yes,
really good.
yes,
And you're preparing for IAS?
yes. You can say. I mean,
You,
UPSC
okay.
is not only around IS. It have
Yeah. Okay.
24
ITS,
services in it.
IFS. Yes. My
Yes.
bad. Yeah, you're preparing for UPSC. Oh, that's really nice. Anybody else?
Definitely, I want to
Mm-hmm.
participate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So, hi, first of all,
continue.
this side Unoya, and
Yeah.
as you already aware, Unoya means beautiful. Okay, so if I
Mm-hmm.
talk about professional background or academic background, so yeah, I've completed my 12th BA in History Honors, and then I've completed my MBA in HR and Digital Marketing, as well
Okay.
as I reside in Noida, that is a hustling, bustling city and known for IT hub and
Mm.
infrastructure, right? And then I talk about career. So I'm working as an HR since last 3 years. I have 3 years in IT and non-IT recruitment. Currently
Mm.
working in Wipro. And if I
Okay.
talk about my hobbies, so I just like to meet new people, communicate, and just read about psychology of human behavior. And yes, the last thing, on weekend I just try to stand in the balcony and peeping into others' house just to watch aunties fight. That's the thing. And
Yeah.
last, exactly. And if I talk about my strength, that is just me to manipulate or convince others how to know. I mean, I know how to convince.
Okay.
And weakness is workaholic. And last thing, I just want to
Ah.
conclude my introduction. That is the long-term plan, the long-term goal is just to work in a reputed MNC just to grow
Okay.
as much as I can. Yeah, that is it.
That's really nice. You're into psychology.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
not into, but yes, sometimes I just like to read human, psychology or
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
human behavior, observation, and all.
Okay. Really nice. A lot of people like reading. Yeah. Anybody else?
Professional communication, right?
What?
What
Swayam?
exactly required to? What is exactly the question that I want to know? You?
What is your question?
What is the question that I have to answer?
You have to
No, I'm
introduce
just
yourself.
asking if anybody else wants to introduce themselves.
Okay, we have to introduce some
Yeah.
person with the name of Swayam means me myself, and there
Okay.
are two connotations which are going to come into existence. One, this if I'm saying me, then this
Hmm.
physical existence or that non-physical existence. So depend upon the people's level of understanding what they are calling me. Second thing
Okay.
is I am a person who just love to interact with the people for
Huh.
gathering or taking the information. And
Okay.
using my level of intelligence, I just segregate that what to accept and what to leave.
Okay.
And I love to call myself the person who is very much focused upon understanding the requirement of the people. And after that, delivering what exactly the people are asking for, rather than what exactly I'm loving to impose on. So
Okay.
that is the reason behind it. I love to listen people, and just by listening, I prepare comfortable ground. I just throw the seed there rather than digging the land and putting
Hmm.
the seed there. So if the 90% of your communication that I believe so that okay, the part of my transformation is all about understanding the psychology of the people and
Okay.
delivering according to this rather than imposing the views and opinion of me. So that's the personality, that's the way of living of mine. That's the level of understanding of.
Hmm. So I assume you are a working professional?
No, I'm not.
You're a student?
I'm a student.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, hello, you are.
Okay, so what discussion is going on here?
We're just introducing ourselves. Would you
Okay,
like to go?
fine.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
please.
sure. My name is Sushmita and I am from Jharkhand, the city of
Okay.
Ranchi.
Hmm.
And currently I am working in an Indigo airline as a customer service.
Okay.
And what about you?
Wonderful. Yeah, so my name is Pranjali and I'm a TESOL certified spoken English instructor. I'm working at Flipkart currently in the content development team, and I'm here to take a session on professional communication.
Okay.
Yeah. So anybody else would like to go? I see that a person by the name of Your Eyes, I think, is trying to introduce
So,
her.
so
Do you
ma'am,
have a
like,
question?
where are you from?
I'm from Rajasthan, but I'm currently living in Bangalore.
Okay. For your work.
Yes, for work.
Okay. That's great.
Okay, you are Your Eyes. You've been trying to communicate for such a long time. I see. All right. Okay, so let's quickly start our session. Let's see what
I introduce.
our. Yeah, sure, please go ahead.
Okay. So, myself Neeraj Arya, and I done recently first year Masters of Technology in VLSI.
Okay.
Currently, I'm joined Intel Corporation as an intern, as a backend developer,
Okay.
and at the same time, I'm doing master as I mentioned earlier. So, in second semester, I'm working on quantum ATK
Okay.
software thesis paper.
Okay.
And I'm
So
looking forward for great journey with VLSI department.
all right, you're into IT, right?
You can say that, but at the same
Okay.
time, IT with hardware
Okay.
mix.
Oh, all right, all right. That's wonderful. All right. So I believe we should continue our session. So today's objectives are going to be understanding the importance of effective communication in a professional setting, learning key business English phrases, or you can say a more polite way of saying things in a professional setting. And then we are going to explore strategies for improving workplace communication. So let's first start by understanding the importance of effective communication in a professional setting. Like, why is it important for us to communicate effectively in a professional setting? Anybody wants to guess what it is? Why do
I
we
would
need to
love to
communicate
focus upon.
better? Please go ahead.
Yeah, because communication is a skill that I believe so, and this is all about understanding, creating a good relation between the people. In the process of
Yes,
doing so, we have to interact with the people.
yes,
Before
true.
interacting, we have to understand that what topic that person want to interact with me.
Right,
For
right.
example, for example, suppose that I'm a policy seller,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm interacting with the person without understanding that what is really the state of mind at that time. Suppose that there would have a fight between he and
Mm-hmm.
his wife, and asking him to take the policy for her wife for his wife. First, he's going to beat me. So, the beautiful aspect of the communication is just first understand that is it the comfortable environment where you are going to work upon? If not, then first prepare the ground there. Later, try to execute what exactly you want to put forward. So that I believe
Right,
so. This is the really importance of communication and the
true.
tactics that is required to.
That's true. That's true. So understanding the mindset of the other person is also important. Meanwhile, the way you present your ideas through is also essential, right? And I would like to request all of you, if you want, you can have a copy and a pen with you. So whenever somebody uses a good word or a phrase, you can quickly jot it down and ask its meaning in the session, or if not, you can even Google it and save it for later and use it. This is one way of improving your vocabulary. Okay. So yes, communication is important in a professional setting because it is the cornerstone of professional success. It's more than just exchanging information. Communication is about building relationships, fostering trust, and achieving shared goals. So let's discuss why it is crucial. It is crucial first for understanding and reducing misunderstanding. So being a good communicator doesn't mean that you're able to communicate better, but it also means that you should be able to understand the other person better. So, clear communication ensures that everyone involved understands the same message, preventing misunderstandings and errors. So, when does it happen? See, I have seen a lot of people making mistakes with tenses. And you would be surprised that a simple mistake in a tense can actually change the meaning of your sentence completely. For example, I'll give you an example. So, if anybody would like to tell me the difference between these two sentences, okay? I had lost my keys before I went to the park. And the second statement is, I have lost my keys. So I had lost my keys to simplify, and I have lost my keys. There is a
I
change in
had,
tense. Yeah.
I
yes,
had his
there.
past, like uh, key had already lost, and I have lost key means uh, present tense, like in present, I have lost my key.
I think
Okay.
I had lost my keys is in past perfect. I think this
Hmm.
refers to a past. I mean, I'm saying about a particular past time. At that
Yes.
time, I lost my keys. At that time, the key was lost, and I am saying about the experience of that time. But in the sentence, I have lost my keys. I lost my keys, which is related to this time, actually.
You're actually very right. But tell me, let's not go into the terminology of grammar too much. See, what I believe is if you are learning English just for communicating, you don't have to write an exam in English. You don't have to teach English. I would suggest you guys to not go with grammar terminology that much because it will just inhibit you in learning English, and maybe after some time you will find it very burdensome because you guys already have a lot of work. Some of you are working, some of you are studying. So English should not feel like a burden or a stress to you. So don't focus too much on the terminology, rather focus on its usage, practical usage. So when I say these two sentences, okay, let's also include one more. I lost my keys, I have lost my keys, and I had lost my keys. What do I want to say? Like, what is the meaning? One of you told me that I have lost my keys is related to the present. But like, in what situation would I say these sentences?
So the three sentence what you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
so what is I had lost my keys.
Yes.
So here you lost your key before
Mm-hmm.
before a past thing happened. I mean,
Excellent.
yes,
Yes.
you did something, and before doing that thing, you had lost your keys.
Perfect.
This is the
Yes.
I had
Yes,
lost.
that's what I want. So I want
So
these
the
kinds of
second thing,
answers.
I
Yes.
lost my key. That is, you lost it in the past tense. You did not mention when you lost it. You just lost it in a past time.
Okay.
The third sentence is I have lost my keys. That means you recently lost your key.
Yes, yes. Very good, very good. So when you learn the tense chart like this, you will be able to use these tenses in a more practical way. Rather, if you just focus on the formation, if you just focus on the terminology like past perfect, and if you just focus on the formula or the format of like what verb should be used, you'll just stick to that. You'll never be able to use it in real life. So I would suggest you guys, whenever you learn a grammar rule, make it make sense in real life. Okay, so I'll give you why these sentences make such a difference. So I'll give you a situation and tell me what sentence will you use. Okay, you are with your friend and you're trying to enter your house, but there are no keys. What will you say out of these three sentences?
I have no keys.
I have lost my keys.
Very good. I have lost my keys. So in this situation, what you're doing, you're relating a thing or an action that happened in the past to the present. That is why it is relevant in the present. When I say I have lost my keys, it means that this thing happened in the past and this is still true. It means that I have not found my keys yet. In these kinds of situations, you use have plus V3. That is, I have lost my keys. Had lost, no, actually, one of you explained it pretty nicely. I had lost my keys is used when you're talking about another action also included. And before that action took place, had lost happened. So I had lost my keys before I went to the park. That is correct. You do not use it alone. There has to be some context before it that says that this activity happened before a time in the past. And I lost my keys is a simple past tense sentence, and it just means that this activity happened once in the past. I can also say I lost my keys yesterday, and it has no relation to the present. You're just talking about something, one activity, one action that happened in the past. This is the difference between these three sentences, and use them in the correct situation.
See, Miss Pran, so that's why tense is there, past perfect or future perfect or present perfect. That's why we need to learn all these things, and we are talking about some simple sentence which is not any tenses, like I have lost keys. So this is the simple things. This is not a tense. So this is the concept we need to learn. But I think this is the, yes, we can understand all these things. How do I make the sentences. But I don't think it is helpful in a long run, because we are going to the professionalism work. So we need to learn many things, because IELTS examinations and TOEFL and PTE, ESL, these types of things, they test each and everything. This is not just a test some sentences, 1 or 2 sentences.
I was just giving an example.
Yeah.
And every sentence contains, most of the sentences in English contains tense. So it is important. And when I say I have lost my keys, it is a tense.
Yes. So that's why I'm telling you, this is a tenses, and I think everybody's know tenses, right? Present perfect and everything.
Yes, everybody knows the table, but you know when to use it in what situation. If everybody knows tenses, why do people struggle while speaking? Because there is a gap. There is a gap between understanding and speaking. You have to bridge that gap by practicing, by understanding the practical usage of a certain grammar rule. That's what I'm focusing on. And in IELTS communication lessons, or when you're taking an IELTS examination or a speaking session, when you make such mistakes, you know what happens? The instructor feels that you do not understand the question, and the instructor will understand the correct meaning of the sentence that you've said. And they will actually mark you on that. So you need to convey your messages properly so that there are no misunderstandings. And it will only happen when you understand in what situation you need to use what tense. Okay. So this was our first point, that clear understanding and reduced misunderstanding. And then the second point, why effective communication is important, is stronger relationships and teamwork in a professional setting. So open and honest communication builds trust among colleagues, fostering a positive work environment. And it also facilitates collaboration and teamwork, enabling teams to work together more effectively. And clear and confident communication skills are essential for networking and building professional relationships. Third one is enhancing your professional image. So because we live in a world where English is dominating all workspace, so clear and concise communication enhances your credibility and reputation as a professional. Effective communication skills can help you influence others and persuade them to support your ideas if you portray them perfectly. And also increased productivity and efficiency. So clear communication leads to streamlined processes and reduced bottlenecks. So if you have a person that you're going to dedicate a work to, if you're able to make him understand what you want clearly through effective communication, it will lead to streamlined processes and reduced bottlenecks. And it will also ensure that everyone is on the same page. So it becomes easier to achieve goals and objectives. Any questions? Or anybody would like to add anything to this?
No. Here's one question that I want to segregate. Then what about what will be the situation for the non-verbal mode of communication in this situation?
Non-verbal, actually, yes. A lot of things are required when we talk about communication. Non-verbal is also a great part of it, actually. It depends what your gestures are when you're communicating, your stance, your demeanor also, actually. But because we are on an audio session, we cannot demonstrate that, right? But yes, they are also very important. And I believe if you get better at communicating, or becomes natural to you. Yes, non-verbal communication is also very important. So maintain eye contact, sit in a straight position if you're in a professional setting. Make sure that you're dressed professionally. Make sure that you're not moving your hands too much, and your body language is quite open, not closed. So a lot of things goes around with non-verbal communication, but it would be a very long session if we focus on every aspect of communication. Here in this session, we'll be focusing on the verbal part.
Ma'am,
But
I'm
I
having a
would
doubt.
love to address any question. Oh, yeah.
Yes, the doubt is like I'm very much introvert in my real life. So for me, the most difficult thing is to making the eye contact. How can I get rid of this? I mean, how can I have the eye contact? Because whenever there's someone senior, junior, even my colleague, I can never make the eye contact. So how to get rid of this problem?
How do you talk to them then? Where do you look?
I just want to look somewhere else. I know, it seems like that I'm not concentrating on the talk, but
Yeah.
if I have to make the eye contact, I cannot talk. I mean, that's the most difficult thing for me.
Okay.
So I just try to see upside here and there, but not in the eyes.
Yeah, I understand. But you know what? When somebody's not looking at you when you're talking with them, it's very impolite. How would you feel if you're talking with somebody and they're not looking at you? It would be very rude, right? That is the problem. And you need to address it. How you can maintain eye contact. Okay. So maybe what you can do is, for starters, you can try to look them maybe not in the eye, but like look at their face. And then when you say something, try to look somewhere else and like show that you're thinking. Practice it like that. Try when you go outside, try this thing with strangers, and keep in mind that you're never going to meet them again. So don't be afraid. They're not going to judge you also. See, everybody's so preoccupied with themselves in these times that nobody has time to think about others. Even if you make a mistake, even if you say something wrong, they'll not remember it. Trust me. Nobody has that kind of time. Do you think about others that much? No, you don't. We think about ourselves, what we are going to do, what we are going to wear, what we're going to eat. So we are constantly thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about others that much. So it is also the same for other people as well. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. And I understand that when we look somebody in the eye, it can intimidate us sometime, actually. And we might forget what we wanted to say if we just focus on looking at a certain person. Keep in mind that just try to look at their face, try to grab their attention, because if you're not looking at them, you are also not grabbing their attention. They will lose interest in conversation. They will not listen to you properly. So when you talk with somebody, try to look at their face. And maybe take breaks if you want. And then sometimes when you are talking, try to look at something else. Try to pretend like you're thinking, Practice it. Practice it as much as possible with strangers. Okay? Not at workplace. At workplace, it would be very weird. But if you have friends at workplace, you're comfortable with them, then do it. And I would like to ask you one question. You said that when you look at somebody, you're not able to communicate. Does it also happen in your native language, not English?
Yeah, same. It's not about English. I never speak in English in my real life. I mean, only in
Yes.
VCs and all. So in case of my native also, like I remember when teachers are taking the classes, I cannot have the eye contact with those, and they think that maybe she is not interested. She is just I mean, she's not have the concentration or focus, something like that. So I think I should follow your advice. I try to look at their nose or somewhere in their face,
Yeah.
and then try to talk. And after some time, I should just pretend like that I'm thinking and say
Yes.
I'm just thinking and talk with
Right.
them.
Practice
Yeah.
this.
Thank you.
Practice
Can
this.
I add something?
Yeah, sure.
So I think Scarlett is raising the question.
Yes. Not rising,
Scarlett,
raising the question.
I'm sorry, raising the
Not
question.
raising, not rising.
Yes, yes. So Scarlett, interact with developed content confidently and take 5 to 7% anger in your hue. The anger gives you confidence to look another's eye. When you are angry, you cannot lose eye contact. So try to take a little bit anger in your hue and interact with a developed content in which you are more confident that you know that better.
I would love to add one new dimension which can be really profitable.
Not
What
aid.
exactly is that?
Add. Aid is different. AID is aid. ADD is
Okay,
add.
Okay.
right? So
So
yes,
the dimension that I'm really trying to bring here is that, take for the example, when we are interacting with any specific person, what exactly happens? Uh, we start creating a perception about that person. Suppose that I'm doing the eye contact. What exactly he would be thinking about me if I would be not at the position to deliver my views and opinion in the comfortable manner? He's going to have a negative perception. This is the part of our lizard mind that I give
right.
him talk. This the part of your mind which always works as a restriction for you, not allowed you to move forward or to deliver something what exactly you want to do, but want to distract you from the same thing. So what exactly you are going to do? Neither you are going to focus upon, you are going to just devote whole lot of your energy just about thinking that what would he be thinking about me, rather than just thinking about the topic that you want to speak or deliver. So that is the very fundamental problem, and this takes its inspiration from where? From here, the perception that you have created. So here comes the role of the positive, perception. Just always think that even if I'm not going to speak fluently with the confidence, that person is going to be content about me. Ki that girl has either or boy has tried. So even if, your perception is going to be deciding factor either you are going to cross the limitation or the barrier of lizard mind or not in the future. So that might really work for you. That I believe so.
Right. So thank you everyone for the wonderful input. Being angry at someone and then talking at them, I would not advise it, because if you're angry at somebody, your tone would naturally differ when you're talking normally with a certain person. So being angry
I
at
just said,
somebody,
ma'am, I just said 5 to 7% anger. I mean, not angry. It's like the hue of anger. I would suggest that. Like
okay,
when you talking a serious thing, you are explaining it confidently and looking in front of his eyes. You cannot lose eye contact. I used this.
right.
I used this, and it worked for me.
Oh, perfect. So whatever
That's
sails
why.
your boat, you can try all of these inputs that we've got, and whatever sails your boat, try to do that. It's not like one thing will work for somebody. Everybody's different, right? So
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
everybody's different.
Ma'am,
Mm.
what I feel like, I think indie boys idea will work for me because I
Uh-huh.
remember whenever there's some boy staring at me, that time I become like little bit angry, and that time
Okay.
I feel like I'm like that time I can see in their eyes. I mean,
Huh.
I have that much of potential. I mean, and then how can you say something like this? I show see it towards them quite angrily. So maybe it
Right.
will work for me. So
Yeah,
little bit, yeah. So Andy
that's
boy,
good.
thank you so much.
But
Yes,
try
yes,
to
that's
be
true.
polite at the same time, you know?
Polite. Okay.
Polite,
If
yeah.
I am very much polite, then I cannot make the eye contact. I'm like looking here and there. But yeah, ma'am, I will try. And if I can work on it, I will definitely let you know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. Because when you're in a
But
professional setting,
I want to say something. But make sure that your anger cannot reach to your face. It not be seen in your face that you are angry.
yeah, that's very
Okay.
important actually.
That's
How to
difficult.
control that anger?
See,
I want to learn these things.
no, no. You can take classes from
Do
me.
anyone
I am
know
very
how
good
to
at this.
control anger?
Well. Say one by one, and please ask the host.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead.
How to control anger?
How to control anger? Well, a couple of months ago, I was in a therapy session, and my therapist said that you just need to count down from 10 to 1 and take deep breaths. Sometimes it worked well, sometimes it didn't. And she also told me to, if you're angry at somebody, try not to take action in the heat of the moment, and try to think about the repercussions it will cause if you take actions. So, being angry is a totally natural human expression that we all go through, and we cannot suppress it no matter how hard we try. Only spiritual gurus can do it. But what we can try is try not to take it the best of us. Try not, let not anger take the best of us, actually. So even if you're angry, try to suppress it, try to act like you're not angry, try not to make decisions, try not to be rash in the heat of the moment. Try not to pour your anger towards somebody. All that is a different case, okay? But generally, when I'm talking generally in a professional setting.
I think what did you said, just you can say again, because you are out for some seconds. I cannot hear you at that time.
Was I inaudible? Okay, I just
Yes, you are now audible.
Oh, perfect. So I was just making suggestions how to control your anger. Like I told you about one of my experiences when I was in a therapy session with my therapist, and she told me to do a countdown from 10 to 1 and take deep breaths when you're angry at somebody. So that 10 seconds, you know, what happens that all the blood rush that you have in your body will calm down. So physically also it makes sense, but sometimes in some situations when you're angry at somebody for a lot of time and for such a huge issue that you cannot control it, in that case it might not, but in most of the times it will work, especially for petty issues in the workplace. That will work.
If you are going to follow the process of segregation, that can really work a lot. Take for example,
meditation.
No, anger is nothing but the state of mind that we have to understand.
Yeah,
anger
right.
is nothing but the state of mind. So first of all, we have to focus upon that what is really the root cause behind that anger. Knowing the reason is going to be very much profitable for reaching that stage of getting the solution.
True. That is something that will happen, that will help a person in the long run. Like what is causing you to be angry, right? But in the heat of the moment, I would advise you not to take any actions when a person is angry.
This was the one aspect that I was saying, the segregating. This is the one aspect. The second aspect is that exactly what saying, ma'am. Is the 10 second of the pause, and that pause is something is going to make you aware of.
Pause.
What would be really?
Pause is different. Pause is P-O-S-E. It's P-A-U-S-E. It's pause.
Yeah,
be
so
very precise with the pronunciation also. See, pronunciation is also extremely important.
Yeah. So that is specific amount of time that you are really going to dedicate and to think about that, what would be really the repercussions of that. The third thing that I believe is that, the third thing that is going to be much more important, what you have said, that in the whole of the process, what would be really the transformation that you have witnessed in the state of mind of you? That is
transformation?
Going to be right. What is the transformation has taken place in the state of mind of you? That is really going to give you one step forward for reaching at the point of decision making and bringing the checks and control on your level of understanding and everything.
So, ma'am, I want to say a line, please. Can you allow me?
Next.
Actually,
sorry. Wait. Sorry to everyone. Wait. We are here for professional communication. We are not here for how we can overcome our anger. So can we sit on right topic?
Exactly.
Why are we gathered?
Let's steer to the right topic.
Actually, Leo said my words. That's what I am trying to say.
All right,
you can,
guys,
a better
just
way
let
to say this is
Pranjali
he stole my words, not said my
Leo,
words. He stole.
will you make admin me?
Will you make me admin? What? Like this. Will you make me an admin to this group? All right. So let's steer back to our topic that we were discussing. So we have already discussed the common communication challenges we face in a professional setting, like grammar mistake, pronunciation difficulties, lack of confidence, vocabulary limitations, fear of making mistakes, and lack of fluency. So a lot of these things sometimes inhibit us from communicating in a better way. And there are ways in which we can communicate and negate these issues that we are facing. For grammar mistakes, I would suggest a person to go for grammar session. For lack of fluency, I would suggest you to try to speak in English with yourself, even when you're not talking with somebody. Like just try to make sentences in your head. Whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. If you're going out, you look around yourself, Try to make sentences. Fear of making mistakes, like I've already told you, nobody's thinking too much about you. Do not be afraid. Our fear only takes the best of us and does not let us perform our 100%. When we are afraid, trust me, we tend to make more mistakes than we do usually. Pronunciation difficulty is very, very important, because when you do a mistake, okay, in pronouncing a certain word, a person as a listener might not understand you in some cases. That's very important. Lack of confidence, try to fake it till you make it. That is one way of being confident. The more you speak, the better you be. So I would suggest you to try to speak in English with strangers when you go out in a restaurant, when you go out shopping, try to speak in English. Remember, that person is not going to remember you, because that person meets hundreds of people every day. So even if you make a mistake, that is not going to matter. So yes, very important thing, you will only be confident when you get comfortable with your mistakes. This is the golden rule of being confident. Trust me, because when we speak Hindi or our native language, it just, how comfortable we are with making mistakes. We don't care even if we make a mistake. Why do we care when we make a mistake in English? Why? Because we are so conscious of it. So the day you become comfortable with making mistakes in English will be the day when you get confident speaking in English. Vocabulary limitations, I would advise you not to go with random words on the internet. Rather, try to read something. When you're reading something, like most of you told me that you read fictional books, non-fictional books. So when you do that, try to find words that you can use in your life. Do not learn every single word that you see on the internet, that you see in the newspaper, that you see in the book, because English has a lot of words and it is not possible or feasible for us to learn all the words. Trust me. Do we know all the words in Hindi or in your native language? We don't. We just use the words that are commonly used while speaking, or the words that are trending. So if you read newspapers, you would get the trending words. If you read books, you would get the common words. But again, you will have to filter out the words, what you need, what you don't need, what you can use, what you cannot use. And yes, do not learn random words from the internet, but try to learn words when you come across them. It can happen while watching a movie also. Okay. So yes, now anybody here?
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, please.
So what is more important? Reading, like getting newspaper, reading newspaper, like collecting newspaper words is more important rather than reading, like collecting words from books or regular
Yes.
conversation, or which is more important?
Very good question. It actually depends what your needs are. Okay. If I, let's say if I'm a student, okay, and I just need to get better at talking with people or get better at presenting myself on stage, newspaper is not going to do much there. When your aim is to talk in English fluently, when you want to use good words while talking informal conversation, you need to read informal conversation. When you want to get better at business communication, you need to read something that's related to business. Here comes newspapers. And also, if you don't like reading, you can watch a lot of shows. If somebody is a lawyer and they want to learn English or words that are related to their profession, they can watch shows related to lawyers. I believe one show is Suits. That's a wonderful show. And if you want to learn basic communication, watch shows related to everyday life, like Modern Family, Young Sheldon. There are many Friends. There are many shows. It depends on what your needs are actually. Newspaper, I would never suggest newspapers for beginners, because newspaper contains vocabulary that we do not use while speaking that much. Newspapers are for those who are already well versed with the language and they want to take it up a notch. They want to take it to the next level. That is when newspaper will help you. If you just want to get comfortable with the language, if you just want to communicate and use the words that you get stuck for, it happens when we are speaking, we get stuck. Oh, I don't know what should I use here? Watch shows that talk about daily life. Read something that is related to daily life. You can even read, if you like reading and if you want to go with the newspaper, I would suggest you to read articles where an author is expressing his or her views on a certain topics, general articles. I hope that addresses
Thank
your
you.
question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, I got my answer.
Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to tell you some simple sentences, and you guys have to take a guess how you can say it in a more polite way in a professional setting. So for example, if I say, can you tell me more about it? So in a more professional setting, we can say it like this. Could you elaborate on that further? That sounds much more refined. That sounds professional. That sounds crisp. So that is what business English is, to be precise, formal, to the point, not beating around the bush. We don't want that in professional setting, okay? To the point, using formal English and being as brief as possible. So can you tell me more about it? Can be refined as, could you elaborate on that? I think that's a good idea. Anybody would like to take a guess? How do we say that in a better way for business English or for the professional setting? I think that's a good idea. Take a guess.
Can we say it resonates with me?
Very good. It resonates with me. Yes. Anybody else?
It would be honor if you are going to repeat.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. And it would be an honor. Don't be too formal. You can simply say pardon. Or I beg your pardon. For me to repeat. Again, this is a professional sentence.
It can also be said. Okay, sorry, my bad. It can also be said that it is something inclines with our need, our requirements.
Very good. Inclines with our need. Yes, inclined is a professional word. Very good. Anybody else? I think that's a good idea. And try to add tone to your voice, intonation, high pitch, low pitch. I think that's a good idea.
Meanwhile, if it is not continued, I have a question. With your consent, I'll ask that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. So my question is that how to curtail while speaking, how to curtail your points, your statements which you are presenting, rather than being verbose, how to be very to the point. That's my question.
Yeah, actually, for that, we need to be well versed with a lot of words in English, because when we don't know words, we elaborate, right? And when we know words, our sentence becomes shorter, because that's one word for a phrase. Vocabulary will help, try improving vocabulary.
Okay, no. My bad, I guess you are mistaken. My question is, okay, let me put it in this way. How to be very concise while speaking if someone is verbose, and verbose is a describing word which describes someone who uses a lot of words in their elaboration and their explanation. So rather than using a lot of words, how to be very concise and precise with the words and the statements.
That's what I said. Actually, that's what I said. So when you use a lot of words, what you can do, you can replace it with one word. So if you know good vocabulary, right? If you know good vocabulary, you can replace that meaning with that word. Okay. That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Like one word for that line or what that meaning. So you can replace the meaning with one word. So to be brief, to be concise, you need words. Otherwise, what you would do if you don't understand, if you don't come up with the right word, you would use its meaning to explain. Like you used with verbose, right? You're like using or expressing in more words than are needed. So instead of that, I can just say I'm verbose. So this is a shorter statement. Why? Because I know this word verbose, so I can just use it. That's what I mean to say. Improve vocabulary for this thing.
Pardon me, ma'am, to button. Can I?
Yeah.
Ma'am, so far you have explained very well those things like grammar and pronunciation importance and of course vocabularies. But I have a doubt related to this thing, that is phrasal verbs and idioms. Is this
Okay.
necessary when it comes to business
Absolutely,
English?
yes. Absolutely, yes. Not idioms that much, but phrasal verbs, yes. Very important.
Ma'am, can you please explain for like what is the extent so that we can use this? Is it an
Yeah.
informal or formal? So I want to know about
See,
this. Kindly
that
please
depends.
elaborate
That
this.
depends actually. Phrasal verbs are both formal and informal. Okay. Like, I got you. That is informal. Okay. So you have to be very discerning actually what phrasal verb you need to use. And that is phrasal verbs and idioms are also the next step. When somebody is well versed with the language and they want to take it up a notch. Because phrasal verbs are just replacement for normal sentences that we speak in English, right? It's the same thing goes for idioms also. Idioms work sometimes, but not that much. Would you use muhavre in a professional setting in Hindi? We don't, right? But phrasal verbs, yes, that really works actually. But again, I would suggest you not to jump to phrasal verbs. First, try to be very communicative, try to be very comprehensive when you understand things and also when you speak things. If you think that you don't have any problem while communicating, you just want to take your communication skills up a notch, at that time, introduce phrasal verbs. And yes,
Ma'am,
it is
I
a very...
have a question.
Yes, please.
I have a question on phrasal verb actually. Phrasal verb, can we substitute phrasal verb with anything? Because I know that phrasal verb has its own dictionary. It's a huge topic, I think.
Yes, there are many phrasal verbs. For example, carry out, like to complete or execute a task. I will complete this task or I will carry it out. So if you know how to say to complete a task, then you will think about a better way to say this thing. If you don't know how to make this sentence to complete a task, you cannot just jump to phrasal verbs. First, you have to be very, very good and very I would say fluent with your communication, and then you can jump to phrasal verb, like cut back, to reduce or decrease something. Like maybe due to the economic shutdown, we'll have to cut back on our marketing budget, or we'll have to reduce our marketing budget. That's also right. So now when you're good at communicating and then you think about taking it up a notch, then you introduce phrasal verbs. Like instead of reduce, now I'll say cut back. If you focus on a lot of things at the same time, you'll get nowhere. So to all of you, I will suggest you pick a point on what you want to work on and analyze yourself. What is your weakest point when it comes to speaking in English, and work on that one point only. Don't work on all of things. Somebody who's working on grammar, pronunciation, phrasal verbs also, they're learning words also, they're working on their intonation also. They'll get nowhere if they work on all of these things together. Learning takes place step by step. And for that, we need a good analyzer as well. Like somebody to tell us, this is your weakest point and this is the most crucial thing that you need to do to improve. Then you'll move a step further. You cannot learn all of these things together. It will just create a lot of distraction, frustration, and stress. Focus on one point. If you think that, if you feel that I can say whatever I want in English, I don't feel any inhibitions, and I am fluent, basically. If you feel this thing, that you can convey whatever you're thinking very clearly, then take it up a notch. Read newspapers for good vocabulary. Explore phrasal verbs, explore idioms, work on pronunciation if you think that your pronunciation is not up to the mark. That is how English works. We work step by step. Pronunciation comes last. The first thing is to communicate properly. Okay. Right. So we were on, I think that's a good idea. Very good suggestions. And I'd like to add to it, I concur with that assessment. That is also something that you can do. I'm not sure about that. Any suggestions how we can say that in a better way? I'm not sure about that.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about it. I'm on the fence
On the
about
fence
it.
about it. On the fence means indecisive. Very good. I'm not sure about it. Very good. Anybody else?
I'm in a dilemma.
I'm in a dilemma. Dilemma is like, when you have two situations and both of them are bad. That's a dilemma.
I'm iffy about it.
Iffy, not
IFFY.
comfortable. Yes. See, every word,
It beats me.
it beats
It
me. When
beats
you
me.
don't
Yeah.
understand something, in that case, you say it beats me.
Okay,
See,
ma'am.
they all fall under the same umbrella, but each phrase, each word is used in a different setting, in a different situation. So when you see the meaning of a certain word or a phrase, also see its example, like with what situation it has been used. Okay. So I'm not sure about that. You can also say I'm hesitant to endorse that proposal or that offer. Let's meet up to discuss this. Anybody? Let's meet up to discuss this.
See, I have one question.
Yes. No, one question. Not one question.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am is here.
Yeah,
But
so
what
sorry,
just happened?
you got cut short. So yeah, what was your question?
Ma'am, I have one question that there each everybody's right now we are on the stage. We can speak any topic. If you suppose you give me any topic, then everybody can give you the point of view about the topic, and that is a relevant topic, point of view, and they deliver very wonderfully. But when I are speaking, there's some pronunciation mistake, like as anybody said that you need to say add, because we say many times say add. But how do I go next level? So I need, that's my questions. How do I next level? Because we are right now, I am the level and everybody is intermediate level, but while speaking they are doing many mistake in the pronunciation, or they are doing because of the tone of the voice is different. So how do we, make way
Yes, take it up to the next level. Yes, I got your question. Okay, so the first thing I would like to advise all of you is to do an analysis, how you guys speak and what are your weaknesses. Okay, so I do it a lot with my students in one-on-one sessions. That gives one a clear idea on what they need to work on. Okay, so it will give you a very, very clear idea on what you need to work on, because everybody is different. Not one rule cannot apply to anybody, right? I can just provide a general remedy and hope that it works for you on a very general basic level. So how to take it up a notch? Your question, I believe, was related to pronunciation. So yes, whenever you can start with this, whenever you find a new word, you look for its meaning in a dictionary, right? What you can do apart from it is that you can see how it is pronounced. Okay, there is an option like a mic button in online dictionaries. When you press it, you hear the pronunciation of a certain word. And there are two types of pronunciation, British and English. Unfortunately, both are accepted in India. But in schools, we are taught British English. So whenever you're in doubt, if you are, use British English. But for working professionals, it depends on the company that you're working for. If that company is Indian, you need to make sure whether they're using American English or British English and then follow. For American companies, use American English. For British companies, use British English. So for pronunciation, what you can do is watch TV shows. Listen to people speak in English. Watch American TV shows, English TV shows. That will help you a lot in improving your pronunciation. Try to speak like them. But of course, we are Indians, so if we develop an accent like them, that would be fake, right? But that's all right. Whatever sails your boat, whatever you like. So because we are Indians, we live in India, we have an Indian accent. We can learn it, we can develop it. Yes, there is nothing wrong with it. Just try to focus on the correct pronunciation of a certain word rather than an accent. Accent comes later when you learn the correct pronunciation. when you're really good at speaking, when you can say anything that comes to your head, when you are clear in explanation, then comes accent. Okay, so for pronunciation, dictionary will help you, American shows or English TV shows will help you. Listen attentively. When you listen, that's not enough. Listen and then put it to practice. Learning always happens in 2 steps. Consuming information and then putting it into practice. 2 steps. Okay. So I think we should conclude this session. So it was really nice having all of you in this session. I hope you can say the same for me as well. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here on Telegram. And I'm basically new here, so if I make a mistake, please forgive me. I am new to Telegram and everything, and it was an honor for me to host the session for all of you guys, and I hope that it helped you in some way. And if you have any question, like I said, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay? So let's end the session. If anybody has a question here, please go ahead.
Yeah, the question is that, ma'am.
Madam, I wanted to ask you, you talked about effective communication.
Yes.
My question is that what strategies do you use to build trust and credibility with a hostile, confrontational, and skeptical audiences?
Wow.
What strategies are we supposed to use? Yeah.
Yes. So build trust with hostile. So when you are in a hostile situation and you need to build trust, well, that happens a lot in a professional setting. And this is something that many of us come across. So there are some things like, building trust with a hostile person can be very challenging, but it's often necessary for resolving conflicts or establishing productive relationships. So active listening, actually, show empathy, demonstrate understanding of their perspective. Because when you're in a hostile situation, usually people don't understand each other. And if you show that you understand them, you show empathy, that would solve most of your problems. So demonstrate understanding of their perspective, even if you disagree. Just show demonstration that you understand their perspective. You don't have to agree with it. You have to demonstrate that you understand it and allow them to express their thoughts without interruption. And repeat back what you heard to ensure understanding. And yes, calm demeanor will also help. Avoid raising your voice or becoming defensive. That's human nature. We become very defensive. Speak calmly and respectfully. And focus on the issue at hand, not the person. So yes, that is also a major problem I've seen among students. When they're in a debate, they start defaming the person. They start attacking the person who's speaking, but that's not the point of a debate. We should focus on the issue. We should attack the issue, not the person. And be willing to compromise a little bit, open-mindedness also works. So show flexibility and a willingness to find mutually beneficial solution. Avoid making assumptions too much. So seek clarification to avoid misunderstanding. And yes, considering their perspective is very important. So try to see the situation from their point of view as well. Honest communication is also very important. Be direct and clear. Communicate your thoughts and feelings honestly, but respectfully. So be respectful, understand their point of view, let them speak without interruption, avoid making accusations, focus on your own feelings and experiences, don't accuse others. Be open to feedback, be willing to listen to their concerns and address them. So show that you are engaged and attentive, like I said, we talked about it briefly here. Maintain eye contact. So show that you're engaged and attentive. Use open body language. I talked about that briefly in the session as well. Avoid crossing your arms or legs, which can signal defensiveness. So avoid that. Smile when appropriate a little bit. So a friendly smile can also help to create a more positive atmosphere. And yeah, seek common ground, very important. So look for areas of agreement that you can serve as a foundation for building trust. Focus on positive aspects also, like highlighting the things that you both value or appreciate. and avoid dwelling on negativity. Shift the conversation away from negative topics and be professional. And if you can, have a mediator that can help facilitate communication and find solutions. I hope that answers your question. I have a habit of speaking a lot, so I apologize. But yeah.
No, but this answer is all right. But then at the end of the day, what is going to really happen is that there's going to be only one-way communication. All the hostilities and all the misconceptions from the other side are going to be there. Your role as a person who is supposed to implement the effective communication, that would not happen. It is going to be more of a monologue than a dialogue.
I'm afraid you did not listen to me.
No, but I think you were speaking too fast.
I'm so
slightly
sorry.
speaking too fast,
I'm
mind
so
you.
sorry. I'm so sorry. You should have interrupted me.
Yes.
But
Yes,
I believe we are short of time, and we'll have to end the session. But yeah, see, there's not going to be a monologue if you let the other person speak, if you allow them to express their thoughts without interruption, and even you have a calm demeanor, like you avoid raising your voice or becoming defensive, and you show flexibility, willingness, and to find mutually beneficial solution. You have to communicate your thoughts and feelings honestly but respectfully as well. Use non-verbal communication, like maintain eye contact, show that you're engaged, and like I said, seek common ground, highlight the things that you both value and appreciate, and shift the conversation away from negative topics. All right. So
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
So
much.
nice of you, ma'am.
Yeah, same here.
Ma'am, I want to ask you something.
I guess we don't have that much time. If anybody has any question, please reach out to me on Telegram directly. Okay? And we'll have to end this session here. So it was great having all of you. And I'm really honored to do this session. I'm looking forward to the session next week as well. And I hope you guys are too. So thank you so much for having me and listening to me. Thank you so much, guys. I will end the session now.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Bye.
am I audible?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
you
you.
are audible, Vanita.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. We are extremely fortunate to have you here, ma'am. It is a pleasure to have you here, and you explained everything about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and phrasal verbs and idioms very well.
Yeah.
We also enjoyed your interaction, which was really captivating, entertaining, engaging as well. It was fully loaded with important informations. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are looking forward to hearing you. Yeah, if you can, yeah, it will be our honor to join your next sessions.
Definitely, I'm really looking forward
Exactly,
to
I
it.
do agree with Miss Vanita
Thank you.
because
Thank
it
you
is
so much.
our pleasure to have you here. And we were excited to have you on this call. And it is, yes, and it is really, one of the grateful insights that you have shared with us.
Yeah,
And
thank you so
we are
much.
grateful for all of
Yeah,
these things.
you
Yes.
guys can also follow me on Instagram. Actually, I'll type the links maybe somewhere in the group. So if you want to talk to me, or if you want to see, I make some reels, so you can also go through them, and I post a lot of informative content there. So you guys can follow me on Instagram as well and reach out to me there as well. So I'll post that here in the group somewhere. Okay. And yeah, again, great having you. So
ma'am,
yes.
just pin, if you want to write it, then pin it in the group.
Okay, I need to pin it. Okay, I'll do that.
I want to inform you that this is my first section also, and I very much enjoyed this session.
Oh, that's very nice.
And I want to continue this session, so I want to ask you about your next session, when it is going on, and because I am new here.
Probably on Saturday and Sunday. You'll get notified in the group, I assume. So one of the admins will notify the same way they did here, today. Okay. All right, chalo. So great talking with all of you, and have a nice day ahead. I'm going to end the session now. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.